In the past few years, more and more Indians have been asking, is the US, UK, Canada dream even worth it anymore? The US? You're stuck in decades-long green card queues, crushed by healthcare costs, and always wondering if you'll ever feel secure. Canada? Sure, they'll let you in fast. But now you're facing job struggles, sky-high housing prices, and brutal winters. And the UK? High taxes, increasing cost of living, slow PR routes, and post-Brexit, it's become a lot less welcoming. Indians feel stuck. The traditional immigration destinations have become harder to access, more expensive, and less welcoming than ever before. But here's what most people don't realize. While everyone's fighting for the same three destinations, there are countries actively rolling out the red carpet for Indian talent right now. Countries where your skills are in demand, your savings go further, and your path to permanent residence faster and clearer than anything the traditional destinations offer. Today, we're going beyond the obvious choices to explore 8 countries across Europe, the Gulf, Asia, and beyond. I'm Malvika. I've been an NRI myself, and on this channel, we cut through the hype to help Indians abroad navigate real-world choices. Let's dive in. Let's start with Europe. There are 5 European countries that have become surprisingly accessible to Indians, each offering something unique. Imagine getting European Union residency in 8 months, living in an English-speaking country where your Indian degree is recognized, and paying 30% less for daily expenses than you would in Amsterdam or Munich. That's Malta, a tiny Mediterranean island that's become Europe's best-kept secret for Indians. But here's what's changed this year that nobody's talking about. Malta just increased their permanent residence program costs to 182,000 euros minimum for a single applicant. That's a 32,000 euros jump from last year. Why? Because too many people discovered this pathway. Here's how it actually works now. You need either 500,000 euros in total assets with 150,000 euros liquid, or 650,000 euros total with 75,000 euros liquid. Add a property purchase of 375,000 euros or annual rent of 14,000 euros. Processing takes 6 to 8 months and boom, you're a permanent European resident. There are already 12,000 Indians who've built a support network there. The catch? India doesn't recognize dual citizenship. So if you eventually want multi-citizenship after 5 years, you'll have to make a choice. Malta works beautifully if you are a remote worker, early retiree, or an entrepreneur wanting that EU base. It's not ideal for traditional corporate careers since the job market focuses mainly on gaming, tourism, and finance. Speaking of changes, let me tell you about Portugal, a country that was the darling of NRI retirees until March 31st, 2025. That's when Portugal ended their famous NHR tax regime that allowed tax-free foreign income. The party's over. But here's the thing about Portugal. It's still worth considering, just for different reasons now. With 44,000 Indian nationals and about 90,000 total persons of Indian origin, Portugal has one of the fastest growing Indian communities in Western Europe. The Golden Visa program that everyone talks about? Real estate investment was eliminated back in October 2023. Now you need 250,000 euros to 500,000 euros in investment funds or cultural donations, a completely different game. Processing takes 12 to 24 months, and there's a 400,000 plus citizenship application backlog. So why am I still including Portugal? Because if you are a remote worker applying for a D7 visa or starting a small business, Portugal still offers that Mediterranean lifestyle at costs lower than Northern Europe. Work visas process in 60 days for permits, plus 2 to 3 months for visa processing. Family reunification remains straightforward, and the weather is still spectacular. Now, if you want to talk about a country that's genuinely rolling out the welcome mat for Indians, let's discuss Germany. Over 43,000 Indian students are enrolled there right now. That's a 25% jump in just the past few years. Why? Because Germany figured out something other countries haven't. They need our talent. Here's what happened in 2025 that makes Germany even more attractive. They expanded their Skilled Immigration Act with lower salary thresholds and more shortage occupations. The EU Blue Card now requires 48,300 euros annually or 43,759 euros for shortage occupations. They even launched something called the Opportunity Card, a points-based system for job seekers. Average salaries for Indians range from 45,000 to 70,000 euros. Public universities are still free, and the unemployment rate is just 5.7%. The path to citizenship is where Germany really shines now. EU Blue Card holders can apply for permanent residence in just 21 months if they have German B1 language skills or 33 months without. And from 2024, dual citizenship is allowed. You can keep your Indian passport too. Germany has 301,000 people of Indian descent. Yes, bureaucracy can be a headache, and you will need private international schools at 15,000 euros per year if you have kids. But once you're in one of the world's strongest economies with the best worker protections anywhere. Just north of Germany, France has been making its own moves. President Macron personally invited Indian students to France, targeting 20,000 of them by 2025. Currently, there are 12,000 plus Indian students there, and France streamlined everything with new talent residence permits in 2024. The requirements are clear: 41,933 or more euros annually for qualified employees, 53,836 euros for an EU Blue Card. But here's what's impressed me. 90% of visas are processed within 15 days through their new ANEF digital platform. That's efficiency. Public university fees stay under 4,000 euros per year. The healthcare system ranks top globally, and you can get citizenship in 5 years while keeping your OCI status. The challenge? The French language isn't optional for long-term success. But with 119,000 Indians in metropolitan France and a traditional Hindu temple under construction, the community infrastructure is growing. Before we leave Europe, let me tell you about the Netherlands, home to 250,000 plus Indians, making it the second largest Indian community in Europe after the UK. That's not an accident. The Dutch figured out early that Indian talent drives their tech, finance, and logistics sectors. Amsterdam, Rotterdam, Eindhoven, these are hubs where English is widely used and Indian professionals are genuinely valued. 68,256 euros annually for highly skilled migrants over 30 and 50,052 euros if you are under 30. EU Blue Card requires 74,940 euros. Processing takes just 60 days through recognized sponsors. The famous 30% tax ruling still exists, though with reduced benefits after recent changes. The quality of life here is exceptional. Healthcare ranks 4th globally. The Indian community has built impressive infrastructure, and they are recognized as the best integrated community. It's not cheap, and international schools cost 15,000 euros to 20,000 euros annually. But if you are a skilled professional or entrepreneur ready for a dynamic European market, the Netherlands is top tier. Now let's shift gears completely and head to regions where the math gets really interesting: the Gulf and Asia. Let me start with a number that will blow your mind. 4.36 million Indians call the UAE home. That's 38.5% of the entire population. But what's changed in 2025 makes the UAE even more attractive. They expanded their Golden Visa program with new categories: healthcare workers, educators, gaming professionals, digital creators. Real estate investment threshold stays at AED 2 million, but now includes off-plan properties. February 2025 brought another update. Visa on arrival expanded for Indians holding valid residence permits from 6 additional countries. The UAE is clearly doubling down on Indian talent. Here's the economic reality. Zero income tax for individuals, though they introduced 9% corporate tax in 2023. The UAE ranks as the second safest country globally with an 84.5 out of 100 score. Abu Dhabi has been the world's safest city for 9 consecutive years. For Indian families, this combination of safety, zero income tax, and massive community support is hard to beat. A short flight away from UAE takes you to Singapore, which hosts 650,000 Indians in a really different environment. This is where precision meets opportunity, but the requirements keep rising. The 2025 changes tell the story. Employment pass salary threshold increased to 5,600 Singapore dollars monthly. But here's the big win. They removed the work permit duration cap in July 2025. Indians can now stay indefinitely. S-Pass minimum is rising to 3,300 Singapore dollars by September. For students, they relaxed PR rules by removing the 2-year residency requirement before applying. Singapore clearly wants to keep the talent they have trained. The consideration that stops many families? Male permanent residents must complete the national service, which is a mandatory military service in Singapore. It's not just paperwork, it's a significant family decision that affects your son's future. Finally, let's explore the region that most Indians overlook but shouldn't, Oceania. Here we find surprising opportunities. Though America's landscape has become more challenging with countries like Panama recently suspending tourist visas for Indians. But here's where the story gets exciting. New Zealand, with more than 239,000 Indians, representing 4.7% of the population, just made major policy improvements that nobody saw coming. The breakthrough came in June 2025. India was added to their list of comparable education authorities. This eliminates the IQA requirement for most Indian degrees, a massive barrier removal that makes skilled migration significantly easier. They followed with immigration reforms that read like a wish list. AEWV wage thresholds removed, work experience reduced from 3 to 2 years, visa duration increased from 2 to 3 years for skilled roles. You can even work while applications are processed. The quality metrics are compelling. New Zealand ranks 3rd globally for peace, offers universal healthcare, and provides average salaries of 60,000 to 70,000 New Zealand dollars. The Indian community has built substantial infrastructure, and Hindi is the 5th largest language nationally. This isn't just immigration, it's joining an established, thriving community. After researching all these options, here's what I've learned. The best destination depends entirely on where you are in life and what you are optimizing for. If you are a high net worth individual seeking immediate results, Malta offers instant EU residence, the UAE provides golden visa benefits, and Portugal still works through investment funds. For skilled professionals focused on career growth, Germany stands out with its strong job market and dual citizenship allowance. The Netherlands offers excellent infrastructure and an established Indian community, while New Zealand's easing policies create new opportunities. Students have perhaps the best options. New Zealand's favorable policies include work rights, Germany provides free education, and France is actively growing their Indian student population. We've compiled everything we just discussed into one comprehensive comparison table. All the costs, processing times, salary requirements, and key details for each country. This is going right on screen now, so grab a screenshot or pause the video. Trust me, you'll want to save this for later when you are making your decision. There's no one-size-fits-all answer anymore. Your ideal destination depends on your career stage, family situation, risk tolerance, and what you're truly optimizing for in life. The question is, which alternative matches the life you actually want to live? At NRI Shala, we understand the unique challenges facing global Indians. We are publishing new videos daily, curated specifically for our community. So subscribe and share with fellow NRIs.